Mike the Sales Doctor here with Diagnose and Prescribe. Thank you for watching. First, a comment on my last video. So my wife's like, really? A cemetery? You're doing a video in a cemetery? I hope you liked it. It wasn't intended to be morbid or anything. So check it out. Let me know what you think on that. So yeah, I'm getting ready to head out of the office and just thought of a great topic for us today. It's called the before and after. And no, I'm not going to do Genesis all the way to the book of Revelation. This is going to be a sales conversation. So the before and after. Here's something that I really like about doing these videos for you guys. One, I don't care about likes. I don't care how many subscribers are on board. I don't get stressed out on how long the videos are. I'm just me. This is what you get, and it's real relaxing. I'm going to turn 62 in July this year. So it's not about performing anymore. Those days are done. I'm just all about teaching you guys things that I have learned going on 46 years in the sales business. Just sold numerous different types of products and services. So I have a pretty good grip on understanding human nature, and that's what's bringing about this lesson today. So the before and after, what I mean by that is what we often do as salespeople, especially if we're new, is we get right into it. So we'll meet our prospect or call on the phone or meet them in person, and it's right off the bat, hey, what are you guys looking for? Hey, what can I do for you? How can I help today? That is just okay, but that is what the prospect is expecting every time. And they're hearing it all the time. And so every time they hear it, remember, I don't have my little thing here, it's a red flag. Oh no, we got a salesperson in front of us and they're going to try to sell us something. So I like to change things up a little bit. And so what I like to do is I will ask, hey, how'd you hear about us? Or however you want to say that, how did you hear about us? Do it, and then be quiet and listen and watch body language. Listen, here's why I like asking that question. Because at that point, instead of me telling you about our company, I want you to tell me. That way it's coming out of your lips, not mine. So I love asking, hey, how'd you hear about our company? And no one gets offended. Hey, I'm not here to talk about your company. You're here to show me stuff. No, people love that. And so in my business, I hear, hey, you guys are everywhere. We see your rigs everywhere, or your billboards up and down the highway, things like that. Looks like you guys know, whatever. You may get negative. That's okay. Isn't it nice to get an objection that could come haunt you later during your time with these folks? So I'm totally good with objections, and you should be too, and you should be comfortable handling them. Very comfortable. So I ask that question, and I hear all kinds of different things. If I hear anything negative, I'm going to acknowledge it. I'm not going to jump in. I teach a course on handling objections, whether by phone, customers. These are people that have already done business with you. How to properly diffuse negative situations that people have had with your company or employees. So I do teach that. But I like hearing that. I ask that question right off the bat, how'd you hear about us? And you can get a lot of good information there, salespeople. And hopefully it's a positive response. And then you just say, hey, great. And then go into your investigation. Go into your diagnose phase. Another thing I like to do is where I've named this the before and after, is so you're gathering some information before, and that is asking the question, how did you hear about us? You might even elaborate. I'll just stick with that one. You might even elaborate or ask more questions depending upon what your prospect says when you ask that question. You might engage a little more. Hey, we got a good friend spot from you guys. They're pretty happy. Super. Awesome. What'd they get? Just go further. Well, they got this. Well, that's great. That's great. And it's working good. Oh, yeah, they love it. You guys are really good. You guys are expensive, but I heard they're really good. Okay. So if they know you're expensive, but they heard you're really good, then salespeople, another reason that price isn't where it's at. We need to learn to get our minds off price. We are what? We are looking for problems and providing solutions. And yes, there's a cost to that. But as salespeople, get the dollars out of your mind. You're focusing on these people and meeting their needs. Another thing I like to do is the after part. So during the diagnose phase, I will be sharing little bits here and there about after the sale. Even though they haven't committed to the product or service yet, I'm sharing, because the reason I'm sharing this, and you should too, is the big question mark. So if you just up and leave and you don't make the sale, there's all kinds of question marks that they're going to have is, what if we move forward? What's the process? How does it look? You want to nail as many question marks during your presentation as you possibly can. The after the sale, what do we have to do to move forward? Things like that. So as you're building trust with your prospects, you will say things on the process. Hey Joe, should you guys decide to move forward? You don't need to say today. Yeah, I don't think you really need to say today, because you may real early on get the, hey, Mike, we're not doing anything today. We're just shopping, or we're just looking. I don't like to have the red flag pop up on something like that. So I will just say, should you guys decide to move forward, this is kind of how it works. And then let them know how it works. When we're done today, should you guys decide to move forward? This is kind of the process. And while I'm moving, looking, searching, investigating, watching, and hearing, I'm also in my mind strategizing, thinking along the lines of the process of after for the prospect. So I'm relieving those fears that people have. What do I have to do? What's involved? The other thing I'll do, and I highly suggest this for you guys, is talk about customers you already have. So if you're looking at things, designing things like I do, or products, you can mention first names, or say you see an application for your prospect, you've already sold, someone else the same application or fitting the need, then go ahead and share that. Hey, that's interesting. We're talking about this, just so you know, last week or 10 days ago, I have a customer that moved forward. They're using it, loving it. and then explain about how they're enjoying it. So it's also, am I going to like this? Is this going to deliver what we want? You're sliding those things in also while you're investigating and looking for problems, discovering needs during your diagnose phase. So that's important. Do that, weave that through. The other question I like to ask, and I usually do this in the first maybe 5 minutes, is what do you know about our company? Hey, John, what do you know about our company? John, what have you heard about our company? Similar to how did you hear about us, but now you're getting right in there. Now it's what do you know about our company? Or what have you heard about our company? Similar. How did you hear about us? That's the first question. Go ahead and roll it in later, maybe in the first 5 minutes. I like to ask, what do you know about our company? And here's what's nice about that. Now you're probing more what they know. Hey, well, we heard you guys do financing. Well, you're not going to hear that in the how did you hear about us, because that's more you want to know if they have friends that have used your product or service. Or they want to know, you want to know, okay, the billboards or the vehicles or radio. Also, that's good for marketing for your company to get back to your manager, boss, owner, and you all should be tracking all of your leads. Every single lead that comes in, your office staff should be asking, thank you for calling, how did you hear about us? And start writing that down there. That way you're going to know where to put your advertising marketing dollars. So what do you know about our company? I love that question. And you may not hear anything negative. You may, and that's great because you just gave the segue. And again, that one I don't ask early, because once they get comfortable with you, then when you ask, what do you know about our company? And they might be holding back something negative that could get in the way of closing the sale later, you can address that at that time. And the last thing I like to do is I like to gently brag about our company during the process that I have with my prospects. So I don't know if you knew this, John, but all of our techs are licensed and go through this kind of training, whatever training. Hey, John, just so you know, our installers, they've been at this for this many years, decades, installing these. Hey, John, just so you know, exactly what we're looking to do for you. This is what we specialize in. I know there's other companies out there that do this, but this in particular, this is what we do day in and day out. So now you're really getting specific, building confidence that you can tackle whatever solution that you're looking to offer these folks. And yeah, here are some important things you need to know. I love that. Here are some important things you need to know. And just start writing them down. Write down those things about your company. Here's some important things you need to know. We've been at this since 1989. Or we specialize in this. Or did you know we're the only company that when you call us, you're actually going to talk to a human being. It doesn't matter if it's 2 a.m. in the morning. That's how important our customers are to us. And I already know when I say that one, that the competitors out here, they got answering machines. Sure, during the day someone will answer, but 5 o'clock you're getting a machine, and not with our company. So that's a good investment. You want to be available all the time. And a live person is, we want to talk to humans. It's human nature. So, going to wrap it up. I hope this was a good teaching for you. and I'm going to head home and be husband, dad, put on my other hat, and call it good for today. It's Thursday. It's been a great week, and we'll call her good. Thanks for watching Mike the Sales Doctor.